All right, we are back online in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It is a Monday night. Happy Monday, everybody. Just getting some final things set up here, and then I'll talk about what we're doing. All right. So here we are at Ayers Rock in the Outback in Australia. This is pretty epic. I was playing around with the drone cam before going live tonight, and just like, this is stunning. I'm very excited to get in the air, very excited to see what the Outback looks like from the sky. Tonight we are heading from Ayers Rock, which is in the center of the Australian Outback, down to Adelaide, which is a coastal city west of Melbourne, as we continue our tour of Australia. This is a detour from our around the world journey that has so far taken us from Newark, New Jersey, through Canada, Greenland, Iceland, through Europe, through the Middle East, India, Southeast Asia, and now through Australia. We originally planned to go through China after hitting up Thailand, but then we heard about World Update 7 and thought, why not detour and give Australia a try, give it a little tour. And this is where we are, and I'm thankful. I think this is like the best screenshot I've had on this whole journey. So we are in the Fly-by-Wire A320 Experimental Edition tonight in this beautiful Spirit of Australia Qantas livery. Our call sign is Qantas at 9084 tonight. We are on the VATSIM network, although there is no ATC online at this time, but there is traffic in the sky, so hopefully we'll see, perhaps we'll see some friends along the way. Alright, so I think we have a departure time of, I think 3:15 Zulu, so it is about 22 minutes, so not a lot of time to get things started up. So let's go ahead and jump inside the cockpit and get things started. So here we are in a cold and dark state, and we do have external power, although I wasn't able to get any of the other services loaded up, so we'll just pretend that there's a stairs and that baggage is coming and that we're getting catered and all that. And we'll run on external power for now. So that is step number one, is to get ourselves powered up. So let's go ahead and turn those batteries on. Satisfying a little clink, and connect to external power. And the baby comes to life. Going through initial flows, turn cruise supply on, ground control on. Start aligning our IRSs, because that will take some time, and do our initial fire tests. APU, engine 1, engine 2, and cargo smoke. Alright. Just getting everything else loaded up. Alright. So we'll get our Navilogo lights on so folks know that we're here. Strobe lights to auto, get some of the emergency lights going. Get some integrated lights turned on. And we'll start that APU so we can get folks boarded. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. So wait for the APU to spool up, then we'll turn our APU bleed on. Once that's done, and then we can get boarding started. We'll keep the fuel pumps off because we're going to refuel, and we'll also keep the seatbelt sign off since we don't want folks confined in their seats during refueling in case we need to evacuate the plane quickly. That's the rationale there. Coming down, let's do some of our cockpit setup. So we'll get the brightness tuned up because it is a beautiful, bright, sunny day in the Outback. I think it's just afternoon local time. Get some of these backlights on. Constraints, we'll be running QNH, and we'll set up the FMC once we brief our departure. We'll turn off this flight director, the co-pilot flight director, and get these co-pilot screens off just to save on some frame rate. Get these brighted up. Looks like APU is available. So we'll go ahead and get our APU bleed on, and we can start boarding. So before we do the rest of the cockpit prep, let's get boarding going, because that will take a minute. So where we're looking, weight and balance. We have 124 passengers on board tonight. Get those boarding. Alright, so back to the initial setup here. Landing gear is down, we have brake pressure, clock is correct, landing gear showing down, anti-skid is on. That all looks good to me. Come in here, let's take a look. We have good oil quantity, good hydraulic fluid, and I'm looking for cockpit oxygen and pressure. All good. And doors are showing all closed, which is nice. Alright, coming down the panel here, we're on Unicom tonight, that's fine. Our throttle levers are functional and in the idle position. Engine masters are off, engine mode is normal. Weather system and wind shear system is off. We should not be squawking yet, but we are going to be squawking 7,000 on Unicom until we are given another call, squawk code by ATC if they come online. Going further down here, our spoilers are retracted and disarmed, our flaps are retracted, rudder trim is set to 0, parking brake is engaged, cockpit door is unlocked, and we'll keep that unlocked until we're ready to push back. Alright, so the cockpit prep is done. Let's come here and load up our SimBrief flight plan. Alright, so looking at the operating flight plan, just making sure all the basics are covered. We are at Ayers Rock. We're heading to Adelaide, Yankee Papa Alpha Delta. Our alternate tonight is Yankee Mike Alpha Victor. I actually have no idea what that is. I know it's west of Melbourne, but that's our alternate, in case we can't land in Adelaide for whatever reason. Our flight number is Qantas 9084, context is 15, cruise flight level is 390, triple pause is nice and high. We have a tailwind today of 12 knots, which will give us a bit more of a boost on our way down. We're planning about an hour and 50 minutes in the air, and pretty light shear rate, so not expecting too much turbulence. That looks great. The route, since there's really nothing around here, will be cleared direct to Alpha Yankee Echo and then as filed, and we'll be flying the Salty 3 Victor approach, runway 23, assuming we don't get ATC coverage and they change things up on us. Fuel, this is what I'm interested in right now. So looking at a block fuel of 7831. A good chunk of extra fuel is coming for the alternate, and then some contingency fuel on top of that, so I'm pretty fine with that, assuming that there is no significant weather expected en route. So let's just skip down to, here we go, the weather reports. Here at the departure airport, just make sure this is current, 2 Zulu on the 15th of the month. Wind is out of 80 degrees at 7 knots, nice and light. And 40 V120, I did read about this. What does this mean? Is that the wind is variable between 40 and 120 degrees? I think that is what that stands for. Good visibility, no clouds detected, nice and hot, high QNH 1016. And then looking at our destination, significantly cooler, look at that. But also current data, also variable wind direction at 7 knots, but not too worried about that. 10,000, good visibility, scatter clouds at 3,000, broken at 3,600. Even a higher QNH. I'm not sure if I've seen QNH that high on our right so far. And everything looks good. The weather could not be better. So I think our fuel estimate is fine. We'll go ahead and take the block as accepted. So 7831. And we'll get that loaded. While I'm here, before I forget, let's connect to a Hoppy network, just in case we get a chance to use it tonight. And that all looks good. Just seeing if there's anything else to brief here while we're at it. Direct to 39,000 feet. And it looks like winds at 39,000 feet. I mean, that's our operational ceiling, and those look favorable. All right, so let's just compare our runway to the winds. So we're looking at what? Winds out of 80, and they want us to take off on a runway 13, which is a 50-degree offset. That's just fine. Okay, great. So with that, let's get our charts organized. We'll do that while taking a nice external view at Ayers Rock there in the background. Why not? So let's load up the flight plan from SimBrief. And there we go. And let's look at the charts here. So first, let's get airport information. We'll need that. We're not flying a SID tonight. There are no SIDs, so we'll just be flying direct unless there are instructions on the airport charts. So let's actually take a look at what these charts look like. I like this. I like this. I didn't look at these charts ahead of time, but I'm already liking what I'm seeing. Let's see. Come back. There we go. So standard scenic flight procedures. Let's take a look at this. Track Ayers Rock Alpha Delta to the Rock at 4,000 AMSL. Track the Rock to the Olgas at 4,500 AMSL. Track the Olgas to Ayers Rock Alpha Delta at 4,000 AMSL. I guess these are different options. Inbound, outbound calls to the Olgas and the Rock. Flight directly over Ayers Rock and the Olgas is to be avoided. Pilots should avoid overflying other environmentally sensitive areas. Standard rules of the air for right-of-way apply. All right, let's pin this and see if we can follow it. And here's the routing. So runway 13 will have us coming out here. Oh, there's Ayers Rock Resort. Nice. Oh man. Time 4,000. Rock inbound. So we kind of stay in front of it. Alright, so we're probably not going to be able to fly something this tight in something as large as an A320, but let's at least, since that is to the south, let's do an Ayers Rock fly around, head to the Olgas, and then on our route as filed. So it looks like Alpha Delta to the Olgas. Let's see. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see the waypoints if I zoom in enough. Let's do low en route. It's not on the map there, but we'll pump it in and see what we got. All right, going back to the airport charts to see what other information we can glean. These are all standard minimums. That's fine. Don't need to reference that. And then the airport chart itself. All right, we'll use this to brief our takeoff. So we'll probably do that now, actually. So I'm going to pull up my performance calculator and see if we can do a flex takeoff. This is kind of short. It's definitely long enough. We have runway to spare, but we might want to do a toga anyway. We'll see what the calculator says. There is no, it's just flat terrain all around, so it wouldn't be dangerous to do a flex. But let's see if we actually get values for a flex. So runway 13, that's a heading of 126. Elevation here is 1620, let's call it. Length of runway meters is 2599. Wind. What did we say the wind was? Jump back in for a second. So wind is 80 at 7 knots. Outside air temperature is 35 degrees. QNH is 1016. Conditions are dry. Takeoff weight for tonight is 63 tons, rounding up. We'll have our packs off. Let's see if we are done boarding and refueling. We are done refueling, and boarding is just about, oh, perfect timing, just about done. So let's take a look at the fuel prediction page. We're not going to have our center of gravity yet because we still need to program the box. So I'll hold off on the rest of the flex calculations for now until we have the McDo set up. Okay, so I have the charts I need. Close that for now. And let's set up the box. So, starting with the data page, the IRSs are aligned. And AC status, we have the right engines and the latest AIRAC cycle loaded up, so that's all good. Heading to init A. Pull in our data from SimBrief. Make sure all looks good. So Ayers, Rock, ooh, airway waypoint mismatch, so we'll have to take a look at that. Ayers Rock to Adelaide. Our alternate is Yankee Mike Alpha Victor. We are Qantas 9084. Triple pause is nice and high. Let's just get the actual value from the flight plan. 54531. And constant index is 15. Flight level is 390. That all looks good. Heading to flight plan next. Oh, that did not load in. Well, did it? Alright, let's see what we can do here. So the other waypoints, so that's via Tango 29 to Whiskey Romeo. So I need to remember Airways Tango 49. Ooh, don't like it. Don't like it. Oh, sorry, Tango 29. Fascinating. Let's take a closer look at this. So Tango 29 is right there to Arini. Yeah, we're in Tango 29 all the way from Alpha Yankee Echo to Whiskey Romeo. So let's put in Whiskey Romeo. Must be this one. And if we come in here and put in the airway, Tango 29. Okay, how's that look? YAYE. Alright, well, let's get the waypoints in first. Whiskey Romeo to Whiskey Hotel Alpha. It's going to be course numbers there. To Margot. Alright, and then it will be our star. And we'll clear this discontinuity. Should recalculate our decel. There we go. That's out of the way. So now let's see if it will accept the airway. I forget if we do it for the destination. So Whiskey Romeo makes sense to do it here. Tango 29. No, that doesn't work. Let's try it here. Oh, wait. Clear. Clear. Alright, I forgot we just need to try it here. Airways, Tango 29. Really doesn't like it. Yeah, it's not from Whiskey Romeo, it's from here. So there's a waypoint there along Tango 29. It could just be that this specific waypoint. Let's see, Alpha Yankee Echo. Let's just see if there's multiple. They're both here. So there might be one that is not considered a part of the airway. I'm going to guess it's the VOR that is. So let's add that one. I don't know which one it is. Let's get rid of both of them, and we'll try to add the VOR. Alpha Yankee Echo. Do the VOR. Clear the discontinuity via airway. Tango 29. Oh. Alright, now let's try the NDB. Alpha Yankee Echo. The NDB is 233. I have a feeling this is still not going to work, but try. Tango 29. Might just be a bug with the ARX cycle. So another option we can try. Firstly, we're taking off right here. So yeah, Alpha Yankee Echo is right here off the runway. So we could just clear that out. Not even use it. And get the first waypoint, which looks like... Look at the fixes. Looks like Arini is the first one. So we'll go direct Arini. And then from Arini, Tango 29. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alright. We'll just go ahead and put in the fixes ourselves then. So Rini to Virov. And then Virov to Whiskey Romeo. And then from Whiskey Romeo, what does the flight plan say? Juliet 251. Juliet 251. Still doesn't like the airways. No worries. Whiskey Romeo to Oscar Juliet Alpha Yankee. Oscar Juliet Juliet Alpha Yankee. And let's try it from here. Juliet 251. Just doesn't want to do the airways. So from OJ, Whiskey Hotel Alpha, that's fine. And then from Whiskey Hotel Alpha, Hotel 84 to Margot. Try it one last time. Hotel 84. It took that. It took that. And we're taking that to Margot. The one airway decided to work. Enter. Let's see how that looks. Didn't seem to work. If I just put the VIA in there. Hotel 84. And just insert it. It might just be yeah, it just doesn't like it. Let me try this. Clear Margot, create discontinuity. Hotel 84. Oh, let me get here first. Hotel 84 to Margot. There we go. Bogle is silly. Margot. Perfect. All right, friends, I think we finally got it. And, you know, after all that, we completely forgot what we had already decided, which is to fly to Alpha Delta first, which is Ayers Rock. But that doesn't seem... That does not seem to be an option. Okay. Never mind. So let's just double check the flight plan. Make sure all looks good. So YAYE to Rini to Virov to Whiskey Romeo, OJ, Whiskey Hotel Alpha, Bogle, Vasily, Margot, and then our destination. And we'll program in the star once we get closer. Rad navs. We have a few here. So looking at, they haven't posted on this? They do not. Let's see. Well, we know it's Alpha Yankee Echo, the VOR, as well as the NDB. And those look right from my memory. Okay, great. Rad navs are done. Next up is init B. So we have our zero fuel weight, 55.4 tons. That tracks. Let's get that in there. Block fuel is 7.8 tons. And we do have a tailwind tonight of 12 knots. T12. And let's get the rest of our fuel information in there. So we're looking at contingency of 0.5, alternate of 2.2, and final reserve of 1. 0.5, 2.2, and 1, leaving us 11 minutes of extra fuel. Totally fine, given I think we won't need our alternate. And then finally, performance. So for here, let's take a look at center of gravity. We'll finish our performance calculator. So 24.5. And we do have flex calculations. So going into performance, we'll take off flaps 1. And trim will be 0.9 up. Our flex temp tonight is 63 degrees. Our engine out altitude, thrust reduction altitude, all looks fine. It's about 1,500 above. Yeah, about 1,500 above the runway. Transition altitude did not check on the chart. It would probably be published, if not here, on the SID. Sorry, on the inbound star, if there is one. Otherwise, 10,000 would be standard, and that might be why it's 10,000. Alright. So that's fine. We'll keep that as it is. And that leaves the V speed. So V1 tonight, according to the calculator, is 141. That's our decision speed. 142. And 142 is also our V2. So that is all set. Okay, let's grade lights up a bit higher. Close that calculator. Get this back to arc. And let's set up our glare shield. So we'll do an initial climb out of 4,000 feet. We'll hand fly towards Ayers Rock just to take a closer look. And QNH 1016. Just doubly confirm that is correct local. Now it's 1015, so it has changed. Yeah, that's the latest report. Perfect. Runway still makes sense. Actually, it makes more sense now. Alright, so that is that, my friends. Let's get the tug attached. Do we need the tug? No, we don't need the tug. We don't need the tug. We are going to start on stand. So let's go ahead and get our checklist out. Do before start checklist to the line. So cockpit prep is complete. Fuel message is not applicable. Gear pins and cover is not applicable. Signs are on and auto. Oh yeah, actually, you call out fuel pumps on and seatbelt sign on. Aiders are nav. Fuel quantity is set. Takeoff data is set. Bower ref is set. Before start checklist to the line. So let's go ahead and get prepared for engine start. We'll disconnect from external power because we are on APU power. We'll get rid of our guy there. Just make sure. He is slowly getting out of the way. And the bleed is on. We'll get our beacon on at this point, and we'll do our before start checklist below the line. So windows and doors are closed, beacon is on, thrust levers are idle, parking brake is as required, and the before start checklist is complete. Great. So we'll make our call and just make sure we're still Unicom. We are still Unicom. Ayers Rock traffic, Qantas 9084 at Ayers Rock Airport. Stand 4 will be starting at stand. Ayers Rock traffic. So, engine to ignition. And engine to start. Get the clock running. And the chrono. Let's look at our taxi route. Runway 13, so we'll... I think there's restrictions for size of aircraft. Yeah, so we can't take Bravo or Delta. So we'll take Alpha and then just back taxi. Alright, engine 2 is started, engine 1 start. Oh, the guy's just been chilling there the whole time. Oh, we're so past our departure time. Flight plan fiddling. Go ahead and close our door there. Yep. Mission disengaged. And we have 2 good engine starts. So let's go ahead and get that APU bleed off. We'll get that APU off. We'll get ourselves ready for taxi. And that all looks good up there. After start checklist, anti-ice is not required. ECAM status is checked. Pitch trim is not set. Let's do that next. Oop. We're looking at a pitch trim of 0.9 up tonight, so pitch trim is set, and rudder trim set to 0 after start checklist is complete. So before we get rolling here, I will just quickly do the flight control check. Full left, full right, full down, full up, neutral on the elevators and ailerons. Disconnect, rudder, wheel control, full left, full right, and neutral. Excellent. Alright, reset that chrono. Wasn't really paying attention to it anyway. And we'll disengage the parking brake. And we will get underway. So short taxi, so we'll get this done real quick. Auto brake set to max. Weather system, predictive wind shear system is on. ATC to auto. Spoilers are armed. Flaps are set to take off. stripes are kind of all over the place. Slow down to just below 10 knots and begin our turn. We are on taxiway Alpha.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Takeoff config. We'll do our before takeoff checklist to the line. Flight controls are checked. Flight instruments are checked. Briefing is confirmed. Flap settings are confirmed. V speeds and flex temp are set. ATC is set. ECAM, memo, and no blue. Flight before takeoff checklist to the line. Ayers Rock traffic. Qantas 9084 back taxiing runway 13. Ayers Rock traffic. All looks good. Should we slow down a little bit for this turn? And turn we go. I'm using a separate joystick, the T16000M Thrustmaster, to use the tiller, the nose wheel steering system. Alright, I probably should actually have taken the runway without putting the landing lights on. So we'll set our nose lights to take off. We'll actually just light ourselves up like a Christmas tree here. Got our strobes on at this point. We'll squawk ATC, get our TCAS set, oop, and veering off the runway. This is why we have co-pilots. Before takeoff checklist below the line, takeoff runway is confirmed 13, cabin crew's been advised, TCAS is on TARA, engine mode selector is to normal. PAX will turn off right before takeoff. It's going to get a little hot in the cabin pretty quick at these temperatures, so we'll get off the ground pretty quick. Alright, so Ayers Rock should be pretty clear out of our window after we take off. We'll basically be taking off in that direction. We'll make a right-hand turn right before we get there. Head over to the Olgas. I wish they added course tracks here, but we'll just have to do VFR best we can. What's messing me up here is the runway painted lines are not centered. And neither are the boundary lights. I can't tell if the lines are off or if the runway itself is off. Alright. Leverage a left-hand turn. Sure, we're going nice and slow. There's nothing really for our wings to hit, so I'm not too concerned about that. And slow down just a touch. And do a pretty sharp roundabout here. All my thrust, and that's exactly what I did. Alright, runway confirmed 13. I don't know what center. I'm just going to center on the lines. That's my usual reference, even though it is off center for the runway. Alright, I'm going to bring it up to N1 50% on brakes, and then we'll go just to make sure we're using most of the runway. Let's get these packs off before takeoff checklist now officially complete. And takeoff. N1 to 50%. And flex SRS. Airspeed's alive. Knots. He's back on the forward pressure rather. Plenty of runway. We'll get to 140 in no time. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. There's the rock. Going to set autopilot and heading mode. That's not working. There we go. Lever climb, press climb. Alt star. Disengage spoilers, flaps retracted. Just gonna check SPAD next. Sometimes it doesn't detect. It's not detecting my Alpha Bravo. So, I have to reconnect it. And get our packs back on. The eCam just warned me about it. There's Ayers Rock. So at this point, we'll turn 90 degrees to heading of 250. We'll quickly get some photos. Pretty epic. That's one hell of a rock. Alright, we'll fine tune our heading now that we can see the Olgas, I think is what they called it. So we'll do a flyby of the Olgas and then we will continue on to our flight plan. And now that we have a few minutes and everything seems to be working the way it should, we'll do our after takeoff checklist. Landing gears up, flaps are retracted, packs are on, bow ref is set. After takeoff checklist complete. And we have not been following the directions here. It's such a quick flight and something so fast. Let's see. Oh, it's a climb to 4,500. Ayers Rock traffic, Qantas 9084, leaving the Rock for 4500. Ayers Rock traffic. Let's fine tune our heading here. Oh, some texture pop in. Ayers Rock traffic, Qantas 9084, Olga's inbound 4500. Qantas 9084, Ayers Rock traffic. I think I'm better with my Unicom calls there. A bit closer, get a nice shot there. Ah, they did such a good job with Australia, man. That looks fantastic. You know, with all of the hype about Ayers Rock, the Olgas look awesome. That's just picture perfect. See, maybe a flatter shot. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. Alright, enough sightseeing.
2,500.
Let's manage heading. See, we're inbound Oreni.
2,500.
Make sure that tracks. Yes. So we're getting back on track, and we'll go ahead and clear ourselves to our cruise. Nice, even 39,000 feet. Thrust climb, open climb. Should get a nice view of the Olgas again from this side as we pull out of the turn. Probably burned some of our reserve fuel on that little sightseeing tour, but you know what? No regrets. No regrets at all. Let's see if the direct 2 would be faster. So direct Oreni. There we go. That's the way to do it. Don't need to fly back to the closest track. 10,000 will get a standard QNH. Accelerate up. So long, YAYE. Ah, the rock looks like a pebble from here. Alright, how's our climb rate? Climb rate's nice and fast at the moment. We'll see if we can maintain that. That looked like lightning. Is that a weird simism? Things seem fine. 10,000 feet checks. We'll go ahead and... Ooh, kept those lights on too long. Lights off. Airport, standard QNH. Everything looks pretty good. Let's get a wider view of our routing. Great. Do a quick sim-aware check to see. ACC coverage. Oh, Auckland in New Zealand has ACC right now. See if anyone took Tuesday off. Signs online. Oh, there is a plane at 36,000 feet, basically heading straight for us. I'd love to see if they show up on the TCAS if we get closer. They're at 36,000 feet. When we get to 39,000, I'll set TCAS to below. Let's see if it picks it up. I've only been able to test the TCAS once, not to actually avoid traffic, but to detect it. I at least saw the blip on the ND display. That's redundant, isn't it? Navigation display. I'm also super curious to see these waypoints. They usually correspond to geographical features or towns or other landmarks. So as we cross each waypoint, I'll take a quick external view to see if we can see anything. Because I must be out of it tonight. We loaded these, the rad navs. Never used them, but confirmed they're working. But now that we're on our way to cruise, we can go ahead and clear those. Keep things nice and tidy. There's some geographical features coming up ahead. Over here. So we're flying a river. Oh, those colors are awesome. Oh, wow. Still maintaining a healthy climb rate, even though we're above 20,000 feet. I wonder if it's just high pressure air here with it. Though I do need to study that more. I do believe with it being so hot, let's see what the temperatures are here. Yeah, so let's actually, let's remind ourselves how to tell the temperature here. So, TAT. Searching all of them at once. So SAT is static air temperature, or sometimes called true air temperature. That's a temperature you would read if you could suspend a thermometer out in the air without having the effects, oh my god, so many ads, of an airplane moving through the air nearby. So in jets, like the one we're in, static air temperature is determined by applying the appropriate correction factor to the total air temperature, TAT, or RAM air temperature, RAT, probe data. So most large jet aircraft have this function incorporated into the air data computer. So total air temperature is incorporating the warming effect of kind of smacking into the air at high speed. While static air temperature is what it would feel like if we were, I guess, standing still, and that's being calculated and adjusted by the jet itself. So then, what is ISA then? See. Still trying to find an answer for ISA. International Standard Atmosphere. So ISA is a standard temperature based on altitude. I think at sea level it's at 15 centigrade. And what I've gleaned, I'm definitely not an expert on this, but you want it to be higher than the static air temperature, I think. Or maybe higher than the total air temperature, because apparently when total air temperature creeps above ISA, your airplane could start having performance issues. But that's all I'm going to read about that now. I can't really concentrate, honestly, on learning a new theoretical concept, but ISA bookmarked to learn about at a later date. How are we doing on that climb? We are almost at top of climb, and when we do get to 39,000 feet, we will do some preliminary descent checks. We'll time... Ooh, what was that? That looked like lightning, I swear to God. Let's see... Let's turn the TCAS to below and see if our friend shows up. Gonna check... Check VATSIM. That is definitely lightning. That is freaky as F. Yeah, they're still at 36,000 feet, so we are just about to overtake them in altitude. Actually, maybe I should turn my TCAS to all. We might very well be heading for the same waypoint. That is lightning. At 36,000 feet, that is wild. We should be higher than them now. How close are we? What was that? Oh, did I get kicked off of VATSIM? Yes. Great. Let's reconnect. Flight plan. Fetch from server. Still looks good. Refile the flight plan. That's been happening more often. I think ever since the VATSIM velocity update. I think they're still working out some of the kinks. Alright, I'm estimating we're probably about a little over 100 miles away from the other traffic, but we're still heading directly for each other, so I'm expecting to get some TCAS action if everything's working as it should. Rennie is coming up. Yeah, there is an airport down there. So Boeing 738. Let's see. Notice anything down there that would indicate that the waypoint should be there. Well, there's the airport we're seeing. I kind of think I see something down there. Oh, no, no. Just imagine living out here. That is just absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Halt cruise. We are at our cruising altitude, friends. We've made it. Let's see if we're still heading directly for each other, and we are. Yeah, we should definitely pick this guy up on the TCAS before long. I don't know what the range of the TCAS is. But in any case, we should start initial preparations for our arrival. So pulling up SimBrief, we can get rid of these charts now. We're done with them. And get the airport info, we'll look at that later. The stars what we're interested in right now. Oh, there's so many. Salty. We're doing the Salty 3 Victor, is that right? Salty 3 Victor. Now what we're looking for is our initial flight restriction. We are coming from Margot. And there are definitely speed restrictions. I'm not seeing. Oh, I guess. Let's see. I guess let's plan to be at 3,800 by Margot. So that will be our point. Oh, there's the plane. Hello. Unicom traffic, Qantas 9084. Just wanted to wish the plane we overflew at flight level 390 a pleasant flight. Unicom traffic. Never done that before, but we'll see if we get a response. That was still pretty cool to see. Did not show up on the TCAS though. I'm a little disappointed by that, but maybe 3,000 feet is beyond the danger zone. It is pretty well separated, I guess, but still would have liked to have seen it on would have liked to have seen it on the map. Yeah, maybe they're not on audio. Or not paying attention, they don't have to, there's no ATC. But they were on the network. That was still fun. That was fun to see. Alright, back to the task at hand. We want to be at 3,800 feet by Margot. So current altitude, target altitude is 3,800. 111 nautical miles. Let's... that should be plenty, actually. We'll call it 110, because we'll have plenty of time at 3,800 before we need to descend further. So, let's get that into the box. What do I want to do here? I want to go to flight plan. I want to go to fixes. I'm going to put in Margot. And we want a radius of 110. And that will mark our descent. We'll put this in when we get the weather, but let's take a look real quick. See, make sure that shows up. We may not be able to see it yet. Top of descent. I think we're still just a little too far out, which is fine. We'll leave that there. And we'll see how we're doing on estimates. So, not taking into account the star we'll be flying, we'll get in at 20 past the hour, so about an hour and 10 minutes from now. And we were scheduled to get in at 30 past. So we'll probably still land right on time. If you take into, we'll get to the gate right on time if you take all that into account. But we do have moderate tailwind pushing us along a little bit. I don't think we'll be getting any other traffic on the way to Adelaide. It's pretty clear from here. Adelaide? Adelaide? So this is the nice part. This is the chill part. Just hang out in my grandpa sweater. Thought a co-pilot would probably start shooting the shit with him, or her. Oh, is that weather ahead of us, though? Interesting. Oh, but just to the west of Adelaide. We'll still fly through it. We might descend through it, even. Oh, that'll be exciting. Do we get that en route weather in the OFP? That's my next question. Yeah, so that thunder we're looking at seems to be from here. Cool. So at about 25 minutes, we'll brief our descent. Most peaceful part of my day, honestly. Quickly review the system pages. See, the landscape is starting to change. Oh, wow, that is cool. Veiny river. Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. It's crazy how, like, certain things in the natural world seem to manifest in multiple places. Like, these could be blood vessels, you know? That blood is delivering water to all parts of the land and nourishes it. Oh, it's still pretty barren. It is the Outback. Just the colors are crazy. Never know we were barreling towards civilization. Man, I'm really feeling pretty sleepy. It's only 20 past 11 here on the East Coast in the US. And I'm hoping to do the Across the Pond event, which I think is scheduled for April 2nd. Actually, let's see if there's any new news on Across the Pond. See, VATSIM Across the Pond. What's the latest? Oh, voting for your airports is now open. Pick your top 3 departure airports in Europe and your top 3 arrival airports in the Americas. You have until 20th February to tell us where you'd like to fly. Alright, let's take a look. So, let's see. Acrossthepond.vatsim.net. April 2nd, westbound edition. Airport voting. I need to find my VATSIM ID. Alright. Just make sure I'm not streaming this so you guys can see all my personal stuff. Nah. You guys are just looking at the sim. So, VATSIM. Alright, there's my information. Can never lose this email, because then I will never be able to connect to VATSIM ever again. Alright, so departure airports. Got Brussels, Munich, London Gatwick. Definitely London Gatwick. That's such an epic airport. Charles de Gaulle, Rome, Fiumicino. Ah, wow. Vienna, Lisbon, Istanbul, Moscow. That'd be a long-ass trip. Alright, well, let's put in London Gatwick as our top choice. Rome, Fiumicino. That is just a nostalgic one for me. And how about oh man, Moscow? Beograd Nikola Tesla Airport. Where is that? In Serbia. I mean, you know, I'm gonna go. I might just do Moscow because it would likely require more of a polar route, and that might just be fun. I'm trying to see if any of these others are further north than Moscow. Yeah, there's a Swedish. Oh, Stockholm. Stockholm, probably. It won't be as far. Yeah, you know, Stockholm might be the better option if I'm thinking about that. See, anything else that would be further north? Just gonna do Stockholm. Okay. Arrivals. Okay. Let's see. Montreal's nice. Vancouver. Again, that is a long trip. That'd be like right over the pole. Atlanta, Newark. I gotta do Newark. That's my home airport. Second, let's do Vancouver because we're fucking crazy. Third one, Grantley Adams. Don't know where that is. Boston Logan. I mean, I'm surprised to not see Chicago. Surprised to not see JFK or LaGuardia. But again, those ATC groups would have to sign up for this. So, what else we got? See where some of these are. Grantley Adams, that one. Barbados. What nat track could you take to Barbados? That's interesting. Again, you know what? Let's just be nuts. Grantley Adams. Cool. That is done. So 46 days until across the pond. Hold on. I'm snooping around the NatTrack website where we'd get our oceanic clearance. But there's no one online to clear me. So I don't know if this form would actually work. That's all good. Ooh. What is this? Looks like ATC is online over New Zealand, but I can't tell what center that is. Yeah, it doesn't have a label on VATSIM. Interesting. We're definitely still flying towards weather. Let's see. Seems fine for now. There's our top of descent over there. And we'll do our descent prep in about 10 minutes. Oh, cool. Let's take a look around the right seat for a little bit. I know it's like the mirror image, but I still have never seen the cockpit from this vantage point. If I hit this button, will I go back? I'll just go back here. So go back to pilot. Let's go to showcase. That's just a cool shot. Come on. Come on. Which one do I want? Sweet interior shots. Just don't like those shadows. Let's do it for the wing. So peaceful. Alright, head back to the cockpit. See. Oh, I see. That is Auckland Radio Control. Oh, they control a pretty large portion of the Pacific Ocean. Pretty much New Zealand and everything west of it, across half the ocean. Yeah, see, most of the VATSIM controllers online right now. Got Minneapolis Center, Denver Center, Albuquerque Center, Memphis Center, Boston Center. Oh, who's doing Boston Center tonight? I also have New York approach online. So the Cygnets, that storm looking ahead of us. Yeah, I think we'll just be cruising just along it. And it's over there. It shouldn't impact us too much. Alright, a couple more minutes and we'll brief our descent. Alright, let's get this going. So, first things first, we're planning to be at 3,800 feet by Margot, and we'll stay there until we get close to Salty, then we'll go down to 3,000, and we'll stay at 3,000 until we get on the routing. The question is, where are we going from here? So, according to the flight plan, we're landing runway 23. Go ahead and chart where to go. There we go. Runway 23. That'd be this way. So 3,000 to Malik. I'm guessing this is where we transition to the approach plate. So let's take a look at the approaches for runway 23. We're looking at a couple of ILSs. Let's see how they differ. So the Yankee trying to see what the differences are. They look identical. So it might be the missed approach. That was different. 2000 or corrected. No, it's the same. Ah, okay. There's a difference. It's the distances, whether you're tracking the ILS or you're tracking the VOR. Let's track the ILS, so we'll do the runway 23 Zulu approach. So we intercept this approach at Gully, and I assume that is the... Oh, I guess that's the handoff over Octon, because it's 8 miles. And Gully... Gully is, well, more than that. How does Salty 3 Victor and Gully interact? Or is that 8 miles until the fix? Well, I guess we'll program it in and we'll figure it out. But yeah, but we'll want to start slowing pretty quick. We can probably enter the approach phase as we approach Salty. We could also manually reduce our speed to around green dot. Maybe we'll opt to do that because we don't want to tempt any weirdness with the LNAV. So to Malik, it's pretty straightforward from there. So runway 23 at 230 knots from Salty turn left. Intercept visual final runway 23. Then the ILS. There doesn't seem to be any such speed restrictions there, but we'll want to be at 3,800 until about 12 miles from the ILS. That kind of looks like a step descent. So then from 3,800, there's a, altitude minimum 3,200. So yeah, I guess at 12 miles we can start descending to 1,200, and we'll just intercept the glide slope whenever we can, I guess. We'll arm the approach by that point. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is pretty simple. So we got some rad navs we want to incorporate. We have the VOR, and actually, you know what, that's it. That's all we need. Miss approach, pretty straightforward. I think that's runway heading. Yeah, runway heading. And then just come to 3,000. So once we're on the ILS, we can set our miss approach altitude to 3,000. All right. So that is that. Let's take a look at the airport information for runway 23. That is nice and long. We're going to do a low brake setting. I'm guessing we'll probably roll out into Foxtrot 4, and then we'll take Foxtrot 3, and then hang a left onto Alpha 4, Alpha 5, Alpha 6, and then maybe pull into Lima and park from there. Sweet. And we downloaded the premium scenery for Adelaide Airport, so I'm expecting a beautiful and well-rendered taxi. Alright, so that's all set. Let's get our weather. Well, no, actually, let's wait on weather in case there's an updated report. There won't be before the hour, but you never know. Let's just go ahead and program in the arrival. So ILS Zulu 23. Salty 3 Victor. Via Gully, I think is right. Gully indeed. Insert. Let's see how that looks. So, starting with the initial fix on the star. Margot to Salty to Malik. I think it's all weird, probably because we're going so fast. Because we'd want to go to Gully. Malik Octon. I think something's missing. Oh no, Malik and Octon, that's there. So Octon is actually ahead of Mopi. That is so strange. Yeah, okay, that's odd. So, what we're going to do then, because we want to go from Malik to Gully, we're just going to vector ourselves. And we'll clear the Octon waypoint. Clear the discontinuity. And that still looks weird because we're overflying Gully and doing this big loop-to-loop. But again, that's because we're going crazy fast. We're going to be going a lot slower once we get there. So I'm expecting that will actually work out pretty nicely. It will still be a pretty tight turn onto the final approach, but maybe we'll vector ourselves a bit better to make that not so dramatic. So once we hit Malik, we'll get ourselves on a downwind and then do a base turn and treat Gully as the turn to final. Look at me, I sound like a pilot. Alright, that's good. That's good. And progress page YPAD 23. Good, that looks good. Rad navs, what do we want to put in here? Alpha Delta for Adelaide. Alpha Delta. That looks good. Fuel prediction still looks good. Performance. So actually, before we go to performance, let's get some weather. Weather request. METAR. Oh. Interesting. Our departure airport's not listed there. That's fine. Send. We'll just wait for the message to pop up. Top of descent getting closer now. Taken forever to get that METAR. There it is, company message. Print, we'll take a quick look. Alright, so 4 Zulu, about 50 minutes old, so 9 knots, cav okay, great. Yeah, alright, cool. Let's get that up there so we can reference it. Performance page. To approach, so QNH at Adelaide is 1019. Temperature is 26 degrees. Winds are 230 at 9. So direct headwind. Nice. Transition altitude, I'm sure that's correct, but let's confirm. Yep, flight level 110. And radio minimums for the ILS. 250 Class C, that's fine. And an approach speed of 129. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. We don't even need to do our landing calculations. We know that's going to be fine. And that's all good. Everything is set in the box. We'll set our landing auto brake to low. And I think we're pretty good. It's a pretty easy briefing. Let's see our new time of arrival, taking the star into account. Yeah, 23 past the hour, and of course we'll be slowing down pretty significantly. I'm guessing we'll be touching down around half past the hour. It's starting to get cold here. The grandpa sweater is not as warming as it was when we started. Alright, so you know what? This is probably my last chance to put some clothes in the dryer, so I will be right back. Alright, we are back. Laundry is rolling. And we are close to top of descent. About 5 minutes or so. Looks like, yeah, that weather is ahead of us. We're going to be probably descending through weather. Take a look. Oh, God. Oh. Ooh. This will be fun. Let's see. Temperatures. Maybe we'll get some icing. Let's see. I'll keep the de-icing system off until the E-cam shouts at me. Is that irresponsible? Probably irresponsible. Alright, 15 miles from top of descent. We haven't really flown in overcast skies. It's just been so bright above the clouds this whole trip. I mean, the first dozen flights or so were actually at nice because we're doing real time, and I only fly in the evenings, East Coast time, which is why it's now, that must be going on 4 o'clock local time. Let's see. It is 10.5 hours time difference. How does that... half-hour time zones always get me. But the 10.5 hours past Zulu, and it's 5 Zulu now, so that's, yeah, 15th, so it's 3:30 in the afternoon. Alright, here comes top of descents. And down we go. Thrust idle, open descent. And one slowly coming back. And since we're cleared to below transition level, we'll go ahead and go back to QNH, and 1019 is the local QNH. Just confirm that here as well. Yeah, 1019 is the latest. That was the report for Zulu, so we'll definitely want to check the METAR again. See if there are any updates. Now we're going to thread the needle through that opening. Nah, we're definitely gonna go through some cloud. Seatbelt sign's been on the whole time. Poor folks. Such a neglectful captain. But we'll have to keep it on for now, because it might get bumpy through those clouds. So this is the longest flight we're going to do for a while. The next few are going to be kind of short. So from Adelaide we're heading to Melbourne, that's an hour and a half. From Melbourne to Sydney it's an hour and 40. From Sydney to Brisbane an hour and 45. It'll be nice quick hops, and hopefully we'll get some ATC coverage in those more popular cities. Oof. Sorry, is this a Qantas commercial? Beautiful. Just so awesome what they've done with these clouds. Alright. Might start getting a little darker. These are just so big. Well, everything seems pretty stable. Definitely in the thick of it now. So, no moisture. Yeah, the true air temperature is above freezing, so we should be fine. If that drops, then we might experience icing conditions. Oh, anti-engine. Okay, engine anti-ice. I spoke way too soon. Got the ECAM message, and there we go. We got some icing conditions. We'll keep the wing off for now until we get any additional warnings. Wow. The cool in-between layer. Rainbows. Jeez. Here we need that static air temperature to get above zero to clear the icing conditions. About 40 miles from the start of our star. Starting to peek out from underneath the clouds there, so it must be maybe a 13,000 feet ceiling. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Surface air static air temperature is now 0 Celsius, so as that increases, we should, I think we'll get a no ice detected indicator, and then we'll turn the anti-ice off. So many great shots from this trip. A different story out of our right side window. Beautiful day to our left. That's awesome. Come on. Yeah, static air temperature is, approaching 10,000 feet. We're slowing down. 10,000 feet checks. Landing lights on. Set to constraints. Local QNH set. Seatbelt sign is on. Inbound Margot. Alright, continuing our descent to 3,800 feet. So we're doing for our estimated time of arrival, now half past. So 16 minutes before touchdown. Maybe a little bit more because we will be slowing down some once we get to Salty. Wow, now a rainbow. It's a cool split. It's definitely been one of the more scenic flights we've done. This is just beautiful. Ice not detected. Turn the engine anti-ice off. And the temperature's outside nice and warm now, so definitely don't need to worry about that. 10 miles from Margot. Yeah, we'll get to altitude right around then. And VNAV. When we manage speed, we should start decelerating to 230 knots after we pass Margot, which I believe... Yeah, that's the minimum speed for flaps 1. But we won't extend flaps just yet. Let's get our METAR, our last opportunity to get the latest. So, see weather request, send. Do it the realistic way. Speed Alt star. Alt. There's our company message. And yes, we have the latest weather, and QNH is still the same. Wind has increased a bit. But still appropriate for our runway heading. Okay. We're turning on to course for Salty, and we are reducing our speed to 230 knots. So this weather is wild. Been a really fun descent. Jeez. Well, I feel like every rainbow in this game is a double rainbow. I think they're just messing with us. But you know what? I am not complaining. Alright, so we're looking at about 10 minutes until landing. The guidance, the flight path here estimated, even at this speed, still has a pretty tight turn. We're probably going to vector ourselves downwind of the runway so that we can turn final at Gully. Just quickly take a look at our charts again. Should be on here. Yep, there we are, heading towards Salty. Oh, bank left for Malik, but at Malik we'll turn to heading a 4-2 for our downwind, and then we'll do our base turn towards Gully. Getting some rain effects there. I feel like it's been months since we've actually flown through weather. We've been remarkably lucky. Or unlucky. It's more fun to fly through weather. So I'm not sure if we'll actually get to see the city of Adelaide as we fly in. The thing to look forward to is the custom scenery at the Adelaide airport, which looked awesome. I think they rendered all the interiors and exteriors. So we'll definitely get to check that out in more depth on the next flight when we fly from Adelaide to Melbourne. Ten miles to Salty. 'Now, what other restrictions do we see there? Some more speed restrictions. So we'll definitely want to be configuring by then for sure. So we'll plan to initiate our approach as we are approaching the base turn. We'll want to be at flaps 1, I think, before we initiate the base. And we'll want to be at flaps 2 before we turn final. Oh, here comes Salty. Speed restrictions apparently gone. That's the problem with these incomplete data sources. We'll have to do manual speed until we initiate the approach phase. Just remind ourselves the heading we'll want to turn once we get to Malik. We want to turn to heading 42. Flying over a little coastal neighborhood here, some beaches. Factories. Look, there's a downtown over there, that's pretty cool. Solar farm, maybe? See if that shadow kind of bends over the scenery. Not really. Guess that'd be too much to render. It's pretty cool, that. I've already forgotten. Is it 44, 42, heading 42. Looks like there's an airfield directly in front of us too. Go into heading mode. And begin our base turn. Heading 42. And at this point, we'll go ahead and enter the approach phase. Get back to manage speed. And we'll start decelerating to green dot. Alright, approaching green dots. Flaps 1 speed checked, flaps 1. We'll do our approach checklist real quick. Briefing confirmed, ECAM status checked. Landing distance is confirmed, seatbelts are on, bow ref is set, minimums are set, and engine mode is selected to normal. Approach checklist complete. We'll turn right to 132, begin our base turn. That's looking pretty good. And we'll do speed checked flaps 2. Alright, just remind myself how much time we have. Well, actually, at this point, let's get the landing system on. We are picking up the ILS. We're about 16 miles from the airport. Alright, at this point, let's go back to manage heading. And just make sure we're going to go. Is that right waypoint? Oh, we'll basically overfly a gully. We'll do direct Morphe. Perfect. At this point, we'll arm the approach. Autopilot 2 is engaged. VOR is active. Look star. And at Morphe, we'll want to be at 3270. So at 12 miles, we'll descend to the next step down 1,200 feet. Get that ready. And wherever we intercept the local, the glide slope rather, we'll intercept the glide slope. So that might happen shortly. Glide slope star, great. Don't even need to reduce altitude further. So I'll actually set altitude for the missed approach altitude, which is 3,000. And we'll continue configuring. Gear down. Spoilers armed. Lights on. The 3 green. Alright, speed checks flaps 3. Adelaide traffic, Qantas 9084 is on 10-mile final for runway 23. Adelaide traffic. A bit of a heavy headwind. Slightly across. Runways in sight.
2,500.
Radio altimeters alive. Will be good practice managing a very moderate crosswind, but there'll probably be some rudder work involved, I'm guessing. Oh, that's pretty. Alright, landing checklist, cabin crew.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Advised. Actually, before we do that, we'll go to flaps full. So landing checklist, cabin crew's advised, auto throttles on speed, auto brake is set to low, ECAM memo, landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. Alright, that wind is settling into a more direct headwind. Got a very nice slow approach speed. Get a nice view of downtown Adelaide on the way in, so we'll definitely take a photo of that. Oh, the Adelaide Stadium. Very cool.
One thousand. 1,000.
Alright, now I gotta land. Alright. Autopilot off.
Five hundred. 400. 100 above. 100 above. 100 above. 300. Minimum.
Continue.
Minimum.
Continue.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Reverse green, decel. $70 knots. Don't know what's been wrong with my landings lately. That felt very sloppy. We'll take a look. Definitely ballooned down the runway. I think I need to read up on how to crab and slip a bit better so I can stay nice and straight, even though there was a very, very slight crosswind. Very, very slight. Adelaide traffic, Qantas 9084 is clear of runway 23. Adelaide traffic. Hold here. We'll clean things up a bit. Landing system off, flight director off, constraints off. Don't need that. Landing lights can come off. And spoilers disarmed. Flaps coming up. Nice. And we want that, let's go to ATC to standby, TCAS to come off, and APU start. 1, 2, 3. And after landing checklist, so flaps retracted, spoilers disarmed, APU is on, radar is off, predicted wind shear system is off. And actually no, now it is. After landing checklist is complete, we'll do a 2-engine taxi. Alright, so where did we end up? Oh yeah, Foxtrot 4, exactly where we thought. So Foxtrot 3, cross runway 30. And then Alpha 4, Alpha 5, Alpha 6, going to Lima. So this from here does not look like the custom scenery. I'll have to double check that actually downloaded. But if it didn't download for some reason, we'll make sure it gets loaded up for the next flight. Oh, a little bit of an uphill. You could feel that. Crossing the runway, just, I don't know, no one's around, but just making sure. We're looking for Lima. Yeah, this is definitely not the custom scenery. So I will double check that it downloaded properly, and we'll enjoy it next time. For now, we'll have to choose a stand. Actually see a bunch of services over there. I could never tell, like, where I'll be able to, like, hook up to external power, or when there's baggage, there's external power there. There's, like, no marshals. Although this, let's pull in here. Oh, the gate's not going to line up. Oh. Well, we'll do our best. Let's see if this works. Alright, parking brake is set, APU is available, engines are coming off, and seatbelt sign is coming off. APU bleed is on, and lights are off. Engines are spooling down. That's all looking pretty good. Let's do our parking checklist. Yellow electric pump is off. APU bleed is on. Engines are off. Seatbelts are off. Exterior lights are as required. We'll turn the beacon off now because the engines are off. Fuel pumps are coming off. Parking brake and shocks as required. Parking checklist complete. Let's go ahead and get things hooked up. That's not going to work. How about this? Nope. They don't register us here. But how about power? Nope. So we'll just be on APU until we shut down. So, securing the aircraft. Let's go ahead and get things off up here so the IRSs can come off now. Crew supply can come off. Turn off nav and logo. Emergency lights. Oop. Overhead lighting. That all looks good there. Get our screens off. Open the cockpit door. Standby, that's all fine. Get this to off. Engine mode, that's all good. Everything looks fine. We'll take these lights down. At this point, we'll shut down the APU. APU bleed's coming off. APU master switch is off. And we'll do the parking check. Securing the aircraft checklist. Big temperature is fine. The IRSs are off, oxygen's off, APU bleed's off, emergency exit lights are off, signs, no smoking signs are off, APU and battery are off. We're just waiting for the APU to shut down. I like to turn off the battery now too. So as soon as the APU spools down, we'll go back to cold and dark. And we got here about, 15 minutes past our scheduled arrival time. Not terrible. Could have been worse. We had some navigation issues at the onset. It takes forever for that APU to spool down. There we go. Back to cold and dark. So that is it for this flight, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have crossed the entire outback, are now on to greener pastures on the southern coast of Australia. We'll be leaving Adelaide next time for Melbourne, which should be another beautiful scenic and coastal flight in the Qantas 984. But until then, have a pleasant week, safe travels, and this is Mike November Whiskey signing off.